We're talking about Isa alayhi salam. It was supposed to be a quick one-day session, but alhamdulillah, we're spending our time. So we're talking about Isa alayhi salam every week right now after finishing up Musa alayhi salam and Ibrahim alayhi salam. So right now we were discussing the evil of shirk. And the reason we started this series was during Christmas. A lot of the attention was, to the Gaza situation, and a lot of people weren't taking the opportunity to give da'wah to our neighbors that we have much more easier access to be able to change, the dynamics of how people worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And alhamdulillah, a lot of people are accepting Islam, and this is the perfect time to give da'wah, especially when it comes to people worshiping Isa as a son of God. So alhamdulillah, this series has been very good for all of us, because a lot of us kind of take shirk for granted of how evil it is. So one of the things we were talking about is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored Maryam alayhi salam with Isa. And when you go through the Quran, you see the preciseness of that message, where you cannot make the mistake of calling Isa as a son of God. And then we learned about Maryam alayhi salam's qualities. So you always have to start by the mother of Maryam, and then also the qualities of Maryam before you can talk about Isa. And one of the qualities of Maryam alayhi salam was in the time when she was serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Masjid al-Aqsa. Zakariya alayhi salam was her caretaker. And when he would enter upon her, she would be seen with fruits from different seasons. And so he would ask her, how is this possible? And she would say with yaqeen and certainty in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give from his bounties in the way it's up to him. And for him there is no bounds, and he can gift people in ways that we can't imagine as long as we put our trust in Allah. So that inspired Zakariya alayhi salam to actually go on to make this following dua, which is how Allah introduces us in Surah Maryam. He doesn't talk about Maryam alayhi salam first. Allah goes on to first talk about Zakariya, as Surah Maryam verse number 2 onwards mentions. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ذكر رحمة ربك عبده زكريا إذ نادى ربه نداء خفيا قال ربي إني وهن العظم مني واشتعل الرأس شيبا ولم أكن بدعائك ربي شقيا وإني خفت الموالي من ورائي وكانت امرأتي عاقرا فهب لي من لدنك وليا. So this is something we have to remember, that Maryam alayhi salam's response and her amazing iman is what inspired Zakariya alayhi salam, a prophet of Allah, to go on to make this dua, that if she can have help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ways that doesn't necessarily logically make sense, then I'm going to put my logic to the side, and I'm going to put trust in the abilities of Allah rather than the abilities of human beings. But he does go on to also teach us how to make dua to Allah. So it's very beautiful how he conversates with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where he lets himself be vulnerable. He's basically talking to Allah and saying, I am in a state of weakness, my hair has gone gray, my bones have weakened, I'm an old man, Ya Allah. And so this is one of those things that we should do in dua, is we should just not have any formalities. When it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you open up, the better it is, and more powerful the dua would be. So he called upon his Lord in a private supplication. He said, my Lord, indeed my bones have weakened, and my head has filled with white, and never have I been in my supplication to you unhappy. So, O Allah, anytime I've asked you for something, I've never been returned empty-handed, and I've always felt that you have taken care of me. So, having a really good attitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, I fear the successors after me, because he's old and he doesn't want to die without any successorship. But why does he want a son so bad? Even that was a noble reason. He says, and my wife has been barren, so give me from yourself a heir who will inherit me, inherit from the family of Yaqub. So he wants the da'wah of Yaqub alayhi salam to continue, the message of Islam to spread. And so that's the reason he wants to have a child, is not just so he has a child, but someone who would go on to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to carry the message of Islam forward. And so, Ya Allah, make him, my Lord, pleasing to you, that make this child someone that you will be pleased with, and he will serve you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to give him the good news of Yahya alayhi salam. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us make dua to Allah with conviction, with adab, with good attitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open up doors for us in ways we can't imagine. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين جزاك الله خير.